There's one player out in Major League Baseball that is quite literally a dream for this Phillies lineup. And a few months ago, we would have thought it was a dream. But after a few reports the last few days, maybe it's not. And that is in regards to Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're going to get into all of it today and what this means for the Phillies with just 5 days remaining until the trade deadline. Once again, if you guys are watching this video, let us know down in the comments. Myself and Sean Bernard are planning on going live the day of the trade deadline. The deadline's at 6 Eastern. We're thinking about maybe going live around 3:30, 4 o'clock, hanging out with you guys for the last 2-ish hours, talking all things across the league. If you guys want us to do that, let us know down in the comments. We are debating it right now, but if you guys want us to do it, we will do it. So there's some big reports recently about a player that I think a lot of people have been raving for, and that is Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio Suarez. I don't think anyone really knows exactly how to pronounce his first name, but Eugenio Suarez, Arizona Diamondbacks. The first report was back on Friday afternoon from John Heyman. There was a few before that the Phillies just could be potential suitors. They need, a right-handed power bat, but this is one of the ones that first really stuck out to me. This is from John Heyman. He said the Phillies are yet another potential fit for Eugenio Suarez with Bohm out and a need for a righty bat. Yankees, Mariners, Cubs, Reds, Astros, Tigers, Brewers are also all fits. Well, really quick, we can take the Yankees out of that because they acquired Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies to now play third base for them. That is probably out of the picture for them. So that is one team down. And then this is kind of the bigger report that's been going around. This is from Hector Gomez in the middle of the night last night. He said, while the Mariners remain in intense talks with the D-backs for Eugenio Suarez, the Cubs and Phillies are very willing to do whatever it takes to get the all-star third baseman. And I think this is the first, really big report this deadline about the Phillies, seriously being interested in a really, really big player. If you haven't kept up with baseball this year, this guy's been one of the best hitters in the entire league. 36 home runs, 87 RBIs, 29 walks, 377 at-bats, 94 hits. He is striking out a lot. That is, kind of the thing about Eugenio Suarez. But at the same time, if you put this guy in the cleanup spot on this team, it's instantly the best top four in all of baseball. He has 144 OPS. He has a 584 slugging percentage. He's 34 years old. He just turned 34 a week ago. But yeah, so this is kind of where this is sort of where the debates come in, because this is the best player on the market. Pitcher, batter, anything. This is the best target that is on the market right now. And what's unique about it is that he's a rental. A lot of times you don't see these huge, ginormous bats available at the deadline that are rentals. So this is where the Phillies kind of have to play their cards, because, you're not trading 7 prospects for a rental, right? You're not trading your top 5 prospects for a guy that's only guaranteed to be here for 3 months. But you have to find that medium ground about, what prospects are you willing to send for a guy that's instantly going to impact your lineup from the day he gets here. The Phillies would be able to run out a lineup of Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and then Eugenio Suarez in the top 4. That would slide Alec Bohm, if he doesn't go in the trade. Suarez plays third. We're going to get into that later in the video about how he fits. But then you'd have Casty maybe sliding back to the 5 or 6, Bohm in the 5 or 6, JT in that range, right? It just gives you so much more depth. And it's the best possible protection for Bryce Harper that you can acquire at the deadline. I think that's still the biggest need for the Phillies, right? I think they need a bat, but more importantly, I think they need a bat that protects Bryce Harper, right? If you bat Kyle Schwarber, then Bryce Harper, they have to pitch to one of them. And if you have a guy like Eugenio Suarez in there, you have to decide to who you want to pitch to. Is it Kyle Schwarber, who is the is the National League lead in home runs? Is it Bryce Harper, who is Bryce Harper? Or is it Eugenio Suarez, who's almost at 40 home runs? So that's where it kind of gets interesting. It would instantly be the best top 4 in the lineup. This is what I wrote this morning for Crossing Broad. So I said price for Suarez is going to be heavy, but it won't be as heavy as some other bats that are on the market with 2 to 3 years of control left. Eugenio Suarez has had an unbelievable season, crushing 36 home runs and 87 RBIs, holding a 904 OPS on the year with a 584 slugging percentage. What's unique about the Suarez sweepstakes is that whatever team acquires him is only guaranteed 3 months, with Suarez set to hit the open market after this season. Anthony Sanfilippo, former Crossing Broad writer and now with On Pattison, so he threw out a sort of hypothetical trade of Mick Abel for Eugenio Suarez. It sounds like an immediate yes at first, obviously, but then you have to remember that Suarez is a rental. A few reports over the last few weeks have said that Dave Dombrowski is focusing this year on controllable players. He's traded for a lot of rentals over the last few years, and more have left than stayed. Mick Abel has been up and down, but he's also a pitcher who can hit 98 and could absolutely have an impact on your bullpen in October. Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer reported that the Diamondbacks had scouts at Mick Abel's recent start for the Iron Pigs in Lehigh Valley on Friday night. Suarez isn't necessarily an upgrade defensively at third base over Alec Bohm. Suarez has a -6 outs above average this year at third, and Alec Bohm has 1 outs above average. Could the Phillies consider making him the DH and moving Kyle Schwarber back to the outfield? It's definitely an option. And I think it has to be an option because you have to think more about the bat than you do the fit or the defense or anything. Once again, Jeff Kerr, who is very, tapped into the minor league stuff for the Phillies, did confirm that the Diamondbacks had a scout watching Mick Abel Friday night. So this is kind of where we start to get, this is where you have to start to move some pieces around here, right? If you brought in Suarez, right, he primarily plays third base. Would the Phillies send Alec Bohm back in that deal? Then there's an opening for Suarez right there at third base. If they did not, if they didn't want to move Bohm, if they wanted to keep Bohm and try to get Suarez, Bohm would probably stay at third. You have 2 options here. You could send Bryce Harper back to the outfield. You could try Eugenio Suarez at first base, or you could move Bohm to first, right? Kyle Schwarber would stay your DH. What I think the most likely scenario would be is if you brought in Suarez, it would be Bohm at third, Harper at first, Schwarber back to left field, and Eugenio Suarez DH. Listen, I understand Kyle Schwarber's not the best defender. The Phillies went to the World Series with Kyle Schwarber in 2022 when he was playing left field. Kyle Schwarber's also in way better shape than he was 3 years ago. Is it a coincidence that 5 days before the deadline in today's series finale, Kyle Schwarber's playing left field for the first time in a while, as the reports are coming out that Suarez has some heavy interest in the Phillies? I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I think you may see Schwarber play 1 or 2 games in left field this week, see how he is, because I think it's an option, and I think it has to be on the table, right? What's the package going to be, and how do you maneuver the team once he gets here? Those are the 2 biggest questions. For me, if they came at you and said a Mick Abel, Gene Cabrera package for Suarez, I don't know how you say no to that. Just because he's a rental. Once again, I don't think the package is going to be ginormous compared to some of the players because he is a rental. He's the best bat available, but I still don't think he's going to bring in the biggest package. So for me, if he were to come to Philly, which would at first felt like a dream, but it doesn't feel like it anymore, for me it would be Bohm at third, Harper at first, Suarez at DH, Schwarber in left. And then your top 7 in your lineup would be Trey, Schwarber, Harper, Suarez, Casty, Bohm, JT. That's pretty good. That's a pretty darn good top 7, and it's immediate protection behind Bryce Harper. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so here on Phillies Digest. Once again, we are humming right now. Trade deadline. We're going to have over 1 video a day here, keeping you up to all things Phillies and MLB. We'll be throwing in some different MLB things here as well, but obviously mainly Phillies. Some names have gone off the board so far. An old friend, Phillies former reliever Soto. If anyone remembers Gregory Soto, he went to the Mets. Ryan McMahon, like I said, went to the Yankees. Randall Grichuk got traded from the Diamondbacks to the Royals last night. Other than that, not a ton so far. I think things will really start to pick up on Tuesday. But we've got some pretty big reports here on Eugenio Suarez, and it doesn't seem like this is a dream anymore. So once again, this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.